Welcome to the BJJ Executive Podcast, Episode 3. I'm your host, Dave Kroll. And if you are a repeat listener, then of course, welcome back. And obviously very thankful to have you as a part of this journey. And if this is your first time, then one of the cool things about podcasting is that the spectrum of time means something different to everybody. And what is your today is probably a little bit different from my today, but I think you're hitting it at the perfect time. Thinking about the objective a little bit, and I'm kind of excited about today's discussion because I see this podcast as kind of a preservation tool. And it doesn't matter it doesn't matter where you're at in the journey. It doesn't matter if you're a white belt and maybe you're a year in and you just can't make it out of those metaphorical shark tanks like I've talked about before. I've shared a little bit about my story. It doesn't matter if you're a 40-plus-year-old purple belt that might have taken a little bit of time off and the voices in your head are, will my cardio be there? And will my body hold up? And will my timing stay? And of course, the answer to all those questions was no. And it also doesn't matter if you're a little more senior, if you're a brown belt or even a newly minted black belt. And the likelihood of you quitting jiu-jitsu at this point is probably very low, but you're on a platform now and you're expected to have the answers. And sometimes it's a lonely road. And so once again, this is all about optimism and offering some encouragement. And I like to think of this in the path of longevity as a supplement to longevity in jiu-jitsu. And so one of the fun things about preparing for these podcasts has been trying to find a way to connect the dots and who we have on and what kind of information we need to extract and how that could be the most useful to you. And the words that kept coming to my mind as I got ready for this over the last week or so has been the value of coaching. And honestly, I don't even understand why people are so hesitant to this sometimes. And sometimes it goes back to like your work and maybe you've got like a corporate coach or an executive coach or a life coach or mentors in your workplace, or even sometimes consultants that come into your workplace to talk about finance or leadership or whatever the case may be. And so often, and maybe this is a male problem, I don't know, maybe it's a female problem, maybe it's across the board, maybe it's only me actually, but it's easy to resist. And when I think about some of the values of coaching, I think about the leadership, maybe some shared values, some subject matter expertise for sure. And when you connect that into jiu-jitsu, it's magnified. And that's something that I've noticed in my life for sure. And so what better way to kind of talk about that a little bit than to introduce you to one of my coaches. And this person 100% would be considered a subject matter expert. And if you've been in this game long enough, you realize that there are definitely levels in this game. And this is a high level black belt for sure. I'd be naive to think that I know enough about to say that we 100% share all of the same values, but some of the values that I do recognize in this individual is a high level of respect, both up and down the chain. He's always respectful to the people above him, always respectful to the people below him. He has a high standard. He helps raise the standard around, and then a consummate leader in the academy, a command presence beyond his years. One of the right-hand men of his brother down in Brazil, Tatu Escobar, who's one of the co-founders of the Double Five affiliation. And then now, after relocating to the United States a couple of years ago, which I can't wait to get into, the right-hand man of Rafael Formiga, who was on in a prior episode, and has now started his own academy under the Double Five flag. One of my friends, and certainly one of the people that has helped reignite jiu-jitsu in my life. And I can't thank him enough for it. My coach and one of the main professors at Double Five, Rodrigo Lopes. Rodrigo.
What's up? How are you guys?
Dude, we've been trying to get this on for a while.
Yeah, it's hard because I'm busy and you're busy, so it's hard to make it work, but we made it.
We made it, dude. I think we need to lobby Formiga to get you an administrative assistant.
Yeah, I wish.
A secretary.
It's hard, but I wish. It's less work, I guess.
I know.
I've been working a lot.
Your schedule's packed, man.
Yeah, but I love doing what I do, you know. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. When I don't remember when we first started talking about this, but it was probably around Thanksgiving. But you were headed down to Florida, I think. Maybe a little vacation action. You've been in California for the last couple of weeks, or a couple of weeks ago anyway.
That was the last week before I opened my gym. I went to Disney with Bruno, my son, my wife, and my mom. She came to visit me from Brazil.
That is awesome, dude. So you've literally hit coast to coast. You've been down on the East Coast, and the South can't go much further than that.
And I drove. It was insane.
Dude, I remember talking to you about that. You said, we were talking in the gym, and you said that it wasn't just me, so it wasn't just totally a misunderstanding on my side, but we thought you were driving to California.
California was Florida.
And you're like, yeah, I'm going to be there in one day. And I remember, I think it might have been Justin that was with me. We're like,
no, I think it was Mark.
Oh, it was Mark. Yeah, I was like, dude,
both of you sent me the map.
Good luck. Yeah, like have fun in your day trip, but you're going to Florida, obviously, which is doable.
Not that bad.
That's awesome, dude. Dude, Disney is a freaking.
It's exhausting.
You need a black belt in humanity to make it through.
It's
Jiu-Jitsu.
Exhausting. It was worse. I came back like even more tired.
Yeah,
but it was amazing.
It's worth it, man.
Yeah.
When you see your kids, you know how much fun they have. When thank God for my wife, man, because she's the one that set up all that stuff when my kids were little, and we took our kids, and obviously the one that's about to graduate, my younger one, he was 3 or 4 years old, and he had this goofy hat on. And at the end of the day, they did the parade. I don't know if they do that still, but like all the characters come out and stuff. And him and Goofy like locked eyes, and then his face just like melted, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I see why we're suffering through. It's worth it, man. It's nice. It's special, dude. It's a long drive. What about California?
California, but what I mean, like
2 weeks ago, right? You guys were out there.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even know you were going.
Yeah, about the Nogi words.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Dude.
You know me. I would do my best to coach and be there present for those who are fighting, because
being known as a passionate coach, maybe.
I understand, what they're passing through, what their feelings, and I know it's complicated. If you have nobody on your side, it's even worse. So I try to do my very best to be there to support them. I know the athletes. I get so closer, and I kind of know what I need to do to make them feel better, and I really think I can help them, And without them, without me there, it's I feel so bad to not be there, When I see them losing, I was like, bro, if I was there, it could be different. So I hate this feeling about maybe what if I was there. So I need to be there, because if they lose, right, I lose as well. So if they lose, but I'm there, okay, I did my best. They did their best. It's fine. It happens, right?
It's a lonely road, man.
Yeah. So you don't know how it works. So I do my best to be there always as possible.
Yeah. Your brother obviously was there. It was good. I didn't know he was coming up from Brazil, man. I love.
He's gonna be here until January 7th.
Is he gonna do any seminars or anything?
So we're gonna do my grand opening right on January 7th.
Okay.
Is everybody welcome, by the way?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
dude, everybody should come. We got to talk a lot more about that.
So we're going to do like a big seminar on me, for Miga, my brother.
No kidding.
Roberta, Daisy, and Monique. So
dude,
3 black belts, 3
belts
female black belts, and 3 male black belts, all world medalists, world champions. So I think they're going to be cool. That is awesome. And the most important, free seminar.
That is awesome, man. I love when your brother comes up, man. I didn't know he was coming, but obviously he's been in the gym, and then we saw all the pictures of him medaling and stuff at Worlds, and so he's got this way about him, because he's kind of like this. He's got this OG style, where he stands a little bit behind you, and he just kind of passes the message on. So I love it, dude. It's awesome. It's good.
Crazy.
It's a good presence, just kind of brings the
I
spirit
feel
up in the gym and stuff.
I feel great with him, behind me.
Yeah.
Everything I do or who I am, it's kind of, he has a touch, he did his job. And now my brother's getting older, so he's kind of not losing, but how it works, he's getting older, so it's passion. His passion is getting like, it's weaker, it's not the same than when he was my age. So
sure, of course, dude, your body changes, man.
Yeah, he's getting tired
going at it for 30
it.
years, 40 years.
But I'm here, and he made me be here. He created me. He taught me everything I know as a coach and as an athlete. So of course, not everything I need to figure out a lot of things by myself, but he guided me through, and I'm here, and I am who I am, like with the skills, and as a coach, like you said, as a leader, and 100% he has a big part of it.
That's awesome, man. He was kind of a legend leading up to it, because you would talk about him a lot, and then for me, you would talk about him a lot. He would talk about my training, my main guy down in Brazil, and you would talk about your brother down in Brazil and
crazy.
whatnot. And I remember when he first came in, and he did a DPAP, or not a it was a DPAP seminar. It was freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this before, like in my own, the way I learn anyway, especially big concepts like that, is like somebody kind of puts a seed in, and it just takes, I don't just learn like, oh, here's this move, like it's like a concept, and that's how I learn. And so he was the one that really had first started kind of putting that things, in.
Right?
Yeah, man, for sure. And, so anyway, and like I said before, you can always just tell he's got a really good presence. So it's awesome to see him. And then all the other crew that came up with him, and man, we had people get engaged and freaking all kinds of stuff, dude. What a trip, man.
Yeah, it was amazing. This time he brought Roberta. Is one of my best friends.
Really?
A girl, back in Brazil.
You guys grew up together? Or?
So she started training. I saw everything, and some while ago, back in time, having girls on the mat was not something very often, right?
Oh, really?
So when she started training, she was, I don't know, she was 16, something like that. She was a girl. And I was dating already, so she always, we were connected like as brothers,
Okay.
Yeah, so cool. I see her like as a big sister.
That's awesome,
man. So
you guys the same age? Or?
She's younger. She's younger. I think she's 21. I'm 28.
Oh, dang. That's crazy.
Yeah, she's much younger.
Okay.
So
good for her, man.
Yeah, so my brother see her as a daughter, right? And I see her like as a big sister, So we have a very good connection, and we were like super happy. She made it. She won the world championship.
That's amazing, man.
2 weeks ago, right, in the Nogi Worlds, and she got promoted as a black belt. Dude, super well deserved. Yeah,
that is awesome. What an honor that must be. It was cool. Like,
yeah,
and
so
then
my brother was the one who like he made her white to black belt. So that's
awesome.
It's a legit work. You didn't like take, because most of the gyms like I don't want to say any names, but most of the gyms, the good teams, right? Yeah. The most famous, they take an athlete already like with good skills, like a blue belt, like orange belt, green belt.
Yeah.
They had all the base. The work is done.
Yeah.
You just need to sharpen, you know? But my brother did this. So it's white to black belt. It's crazy.
That's super cool.
Yeah,
man.
You can
it's
say
unusual because it's
literally
hard sometimes
100% your hand. It's 100% your work.
Yeah.
Nobody helped you. I mean, a lot of people helped you, but it's your work,
Yeah.
So that's the best thing. That's the feeling I don't have it yet.
Yeah.
White to black belt, but I will.
Dude, you've got a couple. I mean, and again, we got to get into this at some point, but you've got a couple that are even kids, that you've taken from the very beginning, and man, the future is so freaking bright, dude. I cannot wait to see some of that stuff. But Formiga was saying the same thing, like, it's like an honor or a pleasure, or a mix to be able to see somebody that goes from, the most basic to, becoming a little bit more advanced.
That's something I don't have yet.
That's awesome, man. Dude, that's super cool. So I guess getting into it just a little bit, I mean, I know so little about your story. I mean, one of the cool things about the jiu-jitsu journey is we like insert into each other's lives at different points. You've met me as a 40-year-old guy that, my kids are older, somebody else knows me as a guy that had babies, and like, I know you as this guy that lives in Texas, but I know you grew up in Brazil and, obviously we've talked a little bit about your background, but I mean, you've got one of the more unique upbringings, I guess, because you came up with some champions. And what was it like? I mean, how'd you get into jiu-jitsu, and what was it like growing up in Brazil?
So how I started jiu-jitsu, it's kind of crazy story, right? My brother was the one who initiated everything, right? My brother's my master, and he started training jiu-jitsu. I think he was around maybe 15, something like that. But nothing crazy. He started to really focus after losing one of my brothers. My brother Bruno passed away some while ago, like 20 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I was 23. I was 5 years old.
Man, I had no idea.
So, yes, it was crazy. I was super young. But after that, my brother, got in a deep depression, and jiu-jitsu was the only thing who saved him. He dropped the law school.
Really?
Yes, he was about to finish. He quit. He started only doing jiu-jitsu because it was the only thing that really kept him on the path, kept him from insanity. He was, you can imagine my mom, my brother, all my family. I was young, I didn't have an idea what was going on. And then he started training, and he started taking serious, started competing, started training every day. He started he started doing 2-3 classes a day. He used to sleep on the mats, because it was the only thing that really was his passion at that time. He didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
And then my mom was totally against, because jiu-jitsu back in the day was not cool.
That's
right?
kind of what I heard.
Yeah, it was troublemaker sports.
That's crazy,
those guys would want to find the street. So
what was the name of
the Gracies,
Beach Boys or something?
So the Beach Boys, the Street Boys.
Okay.
Those guys started with back in the Gracies. So they used to fight on the street. And it was not really well seen. But so my mom was totally against. But she started seeing that that's the only thing my brother want to do it. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do it. And she helped him. She opened a space. She gave my brother and Formiga, they were like blue or purple, some mat pieces.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, crazy. And they start teaching.
Hard to even imagine that.
And from there, with those small pieces of mats, they start growing and having a little group, and they moved, and they start teaching a gym. A lifting gym, a very, very famous lifting gym in Brazil.
Is this in Rio or
Rio?
Okay.
Rio, yeah. And they were like, okay, we're growing. They start making other time, morning, night. They start splitting themselves to teach, and that's it. And they start doing. My brother started bringing me to these classes, introducing me to jiu-jitsu. I was young, and then. I sometimes I used to go, sometimes not.
Of course.
Didn't have the passion yet. Yeah, I was super young.
Yeah.
But with time, I really started focus when I was 11, something like that, as a yellow belt. And then since then, I remember as a yellow belt, I started competing, blue belt, but nothing serious. It was not something that really drive me, like him.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was purple belt, he put me to teach. He opened his own gym.
You're 16, 17. How old are you at this time?
I was 14. As a purple. I was 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was 17, 18, and I was purple belt. And then he opened his own gym. Was not big gym, small gym. And then, okay, Rodrigo, now we need a kids professor. I can be. I'm busy, I don't have the drive to teach kids.
Kids are different, man.
Yeah.
Everybody says that too.
Okay, let's try. And then he had one more student, Domenico.
Okay.
The same belt, the same graduation than me, same age. And we were really close, we were friends. Mm-hmm. And we were like, okay, let's try. And me and him, we started teaching kids. And when we saw, we had 70 kids.
Really?
It was fast.
Dang. It's crazy. That's a big class. One class, 70 kids?
Yeah, no. And then we need 2 classes because it's being ridiculous. We cannot teach 30, 40 kids in the same class.
Dude, I couldn't handle that.
It was crazy. And then we had a small place.
Yeah.
And then when we saw, we had 100 kids with 2 classes, and okay, it's working. We're there. But I was studying at the time, law school as well.
Really?
Yeah, I was a year about to finish.
No kidding.
And then I knew Monique, my wife. Mm-hmm. And I met Monique, and then Monique got pregnant. Mm. And I was on that phase of my life that I need to make choices, right? I was like, okay, if I go for the school, I will probably finish, graduate it, but not time enough to make money. I don't have this time. I'm against the clock.
Yeah.
Monique is pregnant. How are you gonna work? And then I make the choice to quit the school and focus 100% on jiu-jitsu.
How old are you at this time? Maybe 21, something like that, 20?
I was 20, yes. I was about to maybe get promoted to brown belt at the time. I think I was brown belt. I was 20. Yeah, Monique was pregnant. I was 20 years old. And then, okay, from there, I started like really taking like serious. That's my job. That's what I do full time.
Yeah.
And when I got promoted as a black belt, I received the offer to move to USA, and then the game started.
That's where it all started.
Yeah, and then the things are okay. Now the things are serious. I'm by myself.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude, when it like we had a kind of a similar story there because, you know, my older son, I mean, I'm 44 and my older son's 23, you know, so do the math. And I had him at a very early age, and it lit a fire under me, man. Like, I think that kind of like it was a wake up call. Like, it's time to focus. Like, I would love to spend 5 years goofing around or something like that. But,
that's exactly
dude,
like me.
we got to go. We got to go. And I would like that until even now, man. I'm like,
I had no option, right?
Yeah,
I had
dude.
no option.
Dude, this is the way it is.
If you don't grow up, if
you have an
don't-
option, you can do it bad.
Oh, yes.
You know,
Yes.
a lot of people do, you know, but that's
It's
not the
true.
right decision.
Yeah.
It's freaking
You're right.
hustle. That's awesome, man. I never really did the math, but that makes sense. What was the discussion like to come to the States?
So Brazil is amazing, right? Brazil is an amazing place. It's pretty, but it's been crazy. It's dangerous now.
Yeah, I've heard.
So
We were talking about that a little before, right? Like
it's dangerous. And it's not somewhere I wanna raise my son. You know, so
it's a shame because it's freaking beautiful, man.
yeah, it is a shame.
And I
It
think
is a
the
shame.
state you're from, I mean, it's like so like forest and rain. I mean, the pictures I've seen have been amazing.
No, it's
and-
amazing.
Yeah.
It's the best place to go visiting. You know,
Yeah.
no joke.
I don't know, maybe not.
No, if you know the right, like for
If you know the right way.
yeah, I never got robbed. Nothing never happened. Nothing bad happened with me. Nothing, never. You know, you just gotta know where you're going, with who you're going, what time you're going. Those kind of things, you know. And then I was like, okay, we want to move. My wife was a reporter, journalist, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, journalist.
No kidding.
So sports journalist.
Okay.
Yeah,
All sports.
like kind of off, you know, the channel off. But she was from Woohoo.
Okay.
Is a smaller one back in Brazil. She used to work with skateboarders, surfers. You
No
know.
way.
Yeah, only sports.
That's awesome.
And then she is still working with that here in USA.
Yeah.
You know, actually, it would be amazing because she'll be closer to everything like this. You know.
Yeah.
And then she was like, Rodrigo, we need to move. We're never gonna make money. Jiu-Jitsu is not really appreciated here. It's hard to make money in Brazil with Jiu-Jitsu.
That's crazy to me.
My
It
brother
seems-
has like a gym with 220 students now, but it took like 15 years.
Really?
You
To
know.
get it built up.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I mean, it looks like an amazing gym.
No,
you
it
know?
is, but we're talking something. It's 15 years. I don't have even a year.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. I'm against the clock. I cannot be here.
Yeah.
I need to do something. I need to take risks. You know, I need to do something now. And that was when João Gabriel Rocha, back in time, he was one of the co-partners of the team.
Mm-hmm.
He invited me to teach at his place
This is in Dallas?
here
or
in
is it-
Dallas,
Yeah.
right? And now he's Alliance João.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was level 5, and then he invited me to teach.
Okay.
I was like, bro, it's now or never.
Yeah.
I gotta take it. Everybody like kind of. My brother told me to not go. My brother said it's not a good call. You know, you should not go. I was like, brother.
Were you
if I don't-
teaching at his school at the time, or?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, but I was making. My mom always helped me. I was making good money, but not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Yeah, it's hard to see a future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was being dependent of my mom forever.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Of course
you know?
not, man. It's not. That's not a good strategy. It might
Oh,
not even work
100%
forever
not.
either. You know.
You know, right? Exactly. So I'll take the risk because if I don't move now, I might not move never.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, I'll figure it out like I always did.
Yeah.
You know, I will make it work. And then I did for safety reasons. Brazil was not safe, for opportunity, for money reasons.
Yeah.
We had a lot of skills, you know.
Could you speak English? I mean, how'd you?
I was
studying or?
I speak English already, but was not so I mean, it's getting better. You know, it's not perfect.
You got a perfect Texas
so-
accent now.
It's getting there. But at the time
You got some good influences around you here.
Thank you. So at that time was enough to teach.
Yeah,
I had a pretty decent English. You know, I knew the positions. I could make. I was going to make it work.
Yeah.
You know.
There's almost a mystique too that comes with it. People expect to be able to, hear a little Brazilian in there and stuff, So it's
my
very
English was
doable.
pretty decent,
Yeah.
because I used to do seminars already with my brother. We were coming back from Israel. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like some
That's
months
not
ago.
That's not a short trip.
No, we went to fight Europeans, and then we went to Israel first. So we were speaking only English, doing seminars. So it was not something new for me. I was getting used to. So it was not like a crazy deal about the English. The English was not scaring me. What was scaring me was the fact I was by myself.
Yeah.
No, why? Because I came just by myself first.
Yeah.
No wife, no son.
Did you come to Texas? I mean, was that
straight
stop one?
Texas,
Yeah. Good
I was not
choice.
going to bring them.
Good
Oh yeah.
choice.
But it's crazy because like when someone called me to Texas, like, dude, should I have a car or a horse? Like what?
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
So we're going
Of course
to
you don't know, man.
you
It's
know,
freaking
like,
far away.
Crazy, like Texas. They were like,
Yeah.
whoa, wait, you're gonna have a farm? Like
Yeah,
you're gonna be a redneck?
Yeah, 100%.
You're gonna have horse? Dude, no, it's a big place.
Dude,
because
people-
I started like googling,
You can teach your classes in English and feel comfortable, but I think that people underestimate the challenge of a move. And you didn't get a chance to meet my wife because she's in Tokyo right now, but she moved here when she was 25 years old or something like that, man. And I never really fully appreciated it until recently. But you're leaving your family behind. You have a new language that you need to speak, not in jiu-jitsu, but you have to go to the freaking grocery store.
No,
you have
it's
to go to the
life.
doctor.
Yeah, it's
You have
everything.
to-
And my
yeah.
partner now is American, right? So
Yeah.
it's full-time English.
Yeah.
But it's something
It's huge.
it doesn't bother me anymore, It's something really, it's getting comfortable, with time.
Yeah,
and
you feel
time.
good. You feel, I
Yeah.
mean, dude, the cool thing about America is that you can show up on Tuesday and by Wednesday, you're basically American. You know what I mean?
Yes, everything hugs you.
it
is.
I mean,
feel
for
really-
hustlers, right? You
I
can
feel
sit in the
really
corner and
home
cry,
now.
but for hustlers, you
Yeah.
can freaking get it done.
Yeah, so I really feel home. I feel blessed to be here. I have amazing people by my side. I'm blessed. A lot of opportunities. I'm having an amazing time.
Yeah.
And now things are changing
Yeah, things
again.
are starting to kick off a
Changing
little
again.
bit.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about a little bit of the change. I mean, I want to talk a little bit about, we'll go out of order some, but you've recently kind of kicked off into your own venture.
Yeah.
And I knew you were doing this, but like there have been these moments, and I talked about this with Formiga too, where one of the coolest things about jiu-jitsu for me in the last 2 years has been that it stopped becoming such a, it's a very personal thing, of course. I think it is for everybody, but it stopped being all about me. And I started realizing there's this bigger ecosystem and there's this bigger picture. And I watched you. I was sitting right in front of you when Formiga got promoted, when Dodeko and Alexi came to the academy. And I remember watching you, dude, and you were freaking, this was your story. This was like your lifeblood, and it was touching. I mean, I know it sounds like it was just another day, but for me, it was a big deal.
No, it is a big deal.
And now you've got your own academy.
Yeah.
And that was probably a part of a bigger plan too.
I mean, yeah, 100%. So that's everybody's dream, right? That's
Yeah.
my dream since I started. It's open my own gym, having my own story, making students white to black belts. That's another dream, It's soon, not now.
When you've got, I mean, you've obviously been teaching for years. When you have some new students show up, and obviously like part of this podcast is like, how do we keep people motivated? How do we get them from kind of one cliff to the next cliff? What do you tell the new white belt that walks in? I mean, you're about to, I mean, your academy's open. You have your, official grand opening in January. You're going to have a whole fresh influx of students. I mean, what do you want them to know before they get started so that they stay?
Yeah, I think the most important thing, everybody, even who already is on the path, it's patience.
Yeah.
I think patience is something very important. Yeah, it's what we do is not something easy. It might change your life.
Yeah.
Look you now.
Mm-hmm.
You're like making podcasts. You're like, you know what I mean? Like,
Who would have thought? If only I could figure out Instagram.
You know,
Maybe there's hope for me.
hey, no, it's something that changed people's life.
Yeah,
Like about
sure.
healthy physically, right? The mindset, everything. You might click something that you never thought about it. You know, so everything I always tell them is being patient. Trust me, trust in the process.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing, and be patient. You know, and also of course patience and constant.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta have consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency. Yes.
Yep.
So you gotta come as much as you can. Of course, people work. You know, people have family, kids. We all know that. I got it.
Yeah.
You know, but you gotta come.
Yeah.
Nobody will work for you.
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu is something that's very. Of course, we have a team. We have a coach. We have the whole group, but it's individual. Like you gotta work by yourself. You know, my work, my blood will not make you improve. You gotta put your butt on the mat and sweat.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Dude, jiu-jitsu is the ultimate sharing martial art as well. I mean, like we're all kind of on a shared journey, but you also have to share your body. I mean, like
100%.
even if it isn't for you, I mean, getting there for somebody else, you're somebody's favorite training partner.
Exactly, 100%. So I think those two, consistency and patience, are very, very crucial on the way.
Dude, you gave a nice speech after you got back from California, and we had 2 brand new black belts. We had your brother standing there. We had you, who had just flown in the night before from California, other side of the country. And you basically said, like, look where we are. We're right back on the mats, you know, like,
100%.
You know, great. We got the medal, and now it's time to start again.
Champions are made, right? That's what I'm talking about, the consistency. Like, they just became world champions.
Yeah.
Like, they're the best of the world on their division. And Monday, they were back. They fought Saturday and Sunday. And Monday, after flying, like, it's crazy. We were all so tired. I was walking Saturday and Sunday back and forth, side to side.
Sore too. I mean,
you know, and we were all back on Monday on the mats, you know, to fix, to improve.
Get back.
And the most important, we were there to motivate you all, you know, to show you guys how it has to be done, how it works.
Lead from the front,
100%.
Yeah, sometimes you have a bad night, and
we all do, yeah.
We were talking about this a little bit, and I didn't totally elaborate, but like last night, dude, I got killed. I shouldn't have even gone. It was like,
but that's the most important night.
Yeah, it is, and that's what I remember thinking.
That's the humble night. That's the night to improve.
Straight up, man. It's seriously humbling. You know,
Yeah.
everybody. It was just not my night. You know, I was trying new things, and then sometimes trying regular things, and you know, just. You know, but guess where I'm going to be at lunchtime today?
Yeah,
you know,
I know that. We all do. Yeah. Exactly.
You know? So you know a little bit about my journey, and I think that there's a lot of people that are kind of in this. And I've watched people over the last couple of years. We've even had a couple black belts that I know hadn't trained in a long time, and then decided, hey, look, I'm going to come back, and they're not there anymore. Mm-hmm. When you get somebody that comes in, and I'm sure there's going to be people in Richardson and out in the area where you're at, they're going to be like, cool, there's a high level black belt that's teaching in my area. I'm going to get my belt back out and I'm going to go train. What do you think the key is to keep somebody like me, for example? How do you keep somebody who's got some experience on the mats when they come back from time off or whatever the case may be? It's tough, man. I mean,
it is tough. I know. People don't want to kind of pass through the process again, right?
You don't want to suck,
bro. What?
You feel the pressure.
Yeah, I did my whole life, and I need to do again. I know. So I think we got back to patience.
Yeah.
You know, like I told you, like everything runs around patience and consistency, and we got back again on that. Be patient. You know, we will get back. Well, the same thing I was telling you. Be patient, Dave. We're gonna get back on track. It's about time. It's time. Just be patient. Come every day as much as you can. Try things out.
Trust
get frustrated.
Yeah.
Get smashed. It's all part of the process. You know, you gotta be humble. You gotta have consistency, and you need to be patient. You know, it's the only always. It's the same speech I tell everybody. Always the same. Be patient. Trust in the process. Just be patient. Things will work out. Just come.
Yeah. You've got a good way as a coach, and honestly, man, like you've and it's not just me, because I've talked to other people about this as well. Everybody's got their kind of what would the word be, like their style, I guess. Like you know, look, for me, is like the brother. You know, he's you can always count
He's
on
super
him
chill,
to be very supportive.
Yeah.
You're not always like that. Sometimes you're like, dude, you know me enough that you're like, Dave, that was not good. You need to fix that, you know.
I'm a
and then
little
sometimes
more
you're like,
intense.
dude, great job, you know, like when I need it,
Yes.
and that's part of the coaching relationship.
So I'm a little bit more intense. I used to be like my brother. My brother now is super chill, like for me, but he used to be exactly like me. I'm a copy.
Yeah.
You know, no joke. And my brother was like super intense. If you're 15 minutes late, you can go back home. You're not doing this class.
Cool. I respect that.
So you see,
100%.
like it's he
you
used
know
to
what
say
time
like
it starts.
yes. He used to say,
you have a watch.
Am I
a
late?
phone.
You know?
Yeah.
Am I late here? Do I ever be late for classes? If I'm late, who gonna teach you guys?
Yeah.
You know, I'm never late. So why are you guys late?
Yeah.
I have family, I have kids, I have all the excuses you guys have. Why I cannot be late and you guys can?
Yeah.
So at least on the pro training, he always was like this, like that's your job like mine.
Yeah.
I teach you, you guys learn. So that's a different job, but it's still your work. You gotta be here on time because I'm never late.
Yeah.
So I learned exactly what everything he taught. It used to be like this: if you're 1 minute late, 10 push-ups; if you're 2 minutes late, 20 push-ups; if you're 3 minutes late, 30 push-ups. And that's how it goes. And like sometimes 150 push-ups, and people like, dude, and they learn.
Yeah,
they're gonna do one time, just once. You need once. One time and you learn.
Well, dude, to your point on being a pro, I mean, like, look, I'm a pro at my job. And if you don't come to work on time, you don't make it back the next day. I mean, like sometimes that's what it happens. And so
exactly,
dude, there's a funny story, and that people might take this the wrong way, which would be ridiculous but you back to kind of like some of the way that you will coach me. We were doing, I don't remember, there was a competition going on. We were training for a competition. It was noon class, and you know how sometimes we'll like put people into groups of 5 or something like that. And you always have the person in the middle, you know? And I was stuck in like this, Formiga was training because I think he was competing, and you were the one that were pairing people up. And I got stuck where there was like 3 groups left, and one was white belts or something, one was little people, and like it just wouldn't work. And then you looked over, and the last group was Formiga, Ian.
I remember the small guys.
And you looked at me and you go, welcome to hell. You will be murdered.
Shark Tank.
I was like, damn. But I took it as a challenge. I'm like, cool, man. Rodrigo's got some confidence in me. You know, he wouldn't do it otherwise. And so you build this relationship up 100%. Over time. And if you are a purple belt or whatever, you're just getting back in, then embrace the relationship with your coach, man. Give a little bit, get a little bit. I mean,
sometimes
it's a two-way street, right?
I don't care. I actually like it.
I love it, man. I love it. Dude, I can just I'm kind of a knuckle dragger in that regard. Like I can just put my head down. I don't get offended by anything. Yeah. I mean, some people, maybe they're a little thin skinned, and I just like, okay, cool. Like that was obviously not good enough. You know, I got to do it a little bit better. And then eventually,
but that's how you're going to do eventually a little better. You know, not working with white belts, blue belts. It's work with sharks, right?
Yeah, man.
Welcome Shark Tank.
When you were coming up, did you ever have any periods where you either felt like you had like leveled up big time, or that you on the other side maybe just didn't feel like you were ever going to get better?
Yeah.
I mean,
so when I first moved here, my first months were really, really intense. Was really hard.
Just getting settled in and stuff like that.
I was without my family.
Yeah.
You know, my son was 2 years old. You know,
that's awesome, man.
Just turned 3. And then
I would miss him like crazy, man.
It was crazy. Yeah. No, it was crazy, and it was a different language, different culture. I was sleeping on the TV room, you know, by myself. I used to cry a lot, you know, and I was not training really well. You know, it was cold. I was not feeling home, not yet, you know. So everything matters when you're talking about high level training. You know, you gotta be perfect. It has to be perfect. You need to be in a nice place. You need to be with people you like. You need to feel good. So, and I was not there yet. You know, the first months were really hard. I was feeling like I was not improving at all in any points, like money, technically. I was feeling bad. And when my wife moved, I was trying to make things work and try to let her see things that were not happening. Like I was trying to look good, I was trying to feel good, but she knows me.
Yeah,
She
she
knew
through
I was bad. I was getting a depression, and I was starting to get a lot of injuries. I never get injured. It's really hard. I got a lot of injuries on the rib. My rib popped. I ripped my hamstring muscle, which I was like, dude, what's going on?
Those are rough ones too.
And it's everything on my head, because I never got injured with tougher training back in Brazil with like 20 world champions in the same room.
Yeah.
And I never got injured, never. And I was like, dude, it's not cool. So I was working in a place that I was not feeling good, with tough training, and the place. Place. What I mean is the room where I was training, and in another country, other language, other culture, without my family. So everything was hard, know. And then what happened? Quarantine. Boom. COVID.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, okay, what I'm doing here? And you start questioning yourself, like, should I come back? What I'm doing here?
Yeah.
Money was super tight. We were not making money at all. And then we started like, you know what? No, I moved. I'm here. I initiated the process. I'm not going to give up. And then we start to do again patience and consistency, right?
Yeah.
I started working as a food delivery. Me and my wife.
Really?
Yeah, we started to alternate because we had Bruno. And I had 3 persons at my home during quarantine, and we had no money. And I had 3 more persons. they were coming to compete, and they got stuck here in the USA.
Oh my
when
God!
COVID hit
Didn't
strong,
even think about that.
they closed everything out.
And they just couldn't get a flight back.
Was everything shut down? Was everything closed?
Yeah.
So we start doing food delivery during the day and during night, all day, 24 hours. Like we're just alternating to try to make money. We actually made good money because I think during COVID,
dude, everybody was doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could get anything delivered. Bring laundry soap,
yes.
and people wanted it delivered.
So everybody was like ordering grocery store.
Yeah.
Food. It was huge. So we made it. We made it work. But it was tough. It was very tough. Very tough. After I started working with Formiga and I moved closer to Formiga, I think I was like, okay, now I'm feeling home.
Yeah.
And that was when things start to work. Something clicked, like, whoa, wait, I'm there. I'm home now. I'm getting there. And then things start to change. But the first year and a half, it was tough. It was very tough.
Yeah.
I used to cry a lot. You know me. I'm a tough person.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I don't usually cry.
I think that's probably what you're known for is the toughness. Yeah.
I'm usually don't cry. I'm very I try to be as tough as I can, but I was bad. I was feeling so weak. Vulnerable.
There's a difference there, and people kind of connect jiu-jitsu. That jiu-jitsu is one thing, right? But then there's this whole life element that goes with it, man. And it was not connected. It's easy to disconnect.
It was not connected. It was. I was getting a deep depression, if my wife noticed. Yeah. And she's like, Rodrigo, you need help. You need psychological help. Yeah. She was talking to my mom. My mom is Vera. Vera, Rodrigo is not good. I never seen him like that. He's training really bad. He's getting injured. He's getting fat. I was terrible. I was like, you know what? Whatever. I was not there.
It was a tough time, man.
Yes,
2020 was
horrible
not
on the path.
For a lot of people.
But we found ourselves again. Yeah. Now things are changing.
When did it click, man? When did it kind of come back into gear?
When I moved to Formigas, close to Formigas, we started working for Formigas, and then moved to Farmall. I was living in Irving. Okay. Not in a good place. And then I moved to Farmall, which is a good place.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Dude, you're at home now, man. This is where to be.
Exactly. So I feel great now. So that was when things clicked. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. We're gonna make it work.
When you were a younger trainer, like when you were blue belt, purple belt, or something like that, like you've been training for 20 years. Yeah. I mean, like there's not it doesn't go in a straight line, No way. Yeah. Did you notice like periods where you were, where I don't know, from blue to purple or something like that, where suddenly like a year's worth of training kind of came together at once or something like that?
So, when I noticed that, because like I said before, I started really taking this serious when I was a purple belt to brown belt. So I think as a brown belt, things start to really like, okay, it was worth it. Like all the sweat, all the work I put on, and I start to making results as a brown belt. Start fighting a high level. My last year as a brown belt, my first 2 years as a brown belt were tough, bad. I got smashed because I was training hard as a brown belt, and I never competed. I mean, I used to compete, but really not very often. It was bad. And then I said, okay, I'm a fighter now. I'm a competitor, but I was a brown belt, so things are deep in brown belt.
Yeah, man.
It's
Adult brown belt division, dude,
and I struggled for 1.5 years, 2 years, and the last year was good. It was a good year. I had some accomplishments. I had some good medals, good podiums. And then when I become black belt, my first year was okay. Like I was like, okay, it will be tough. I noticed things will be like different, and then I moved, and then I was like, okay, I started training because now I'm living jiu-jitsu full time, right? Like even on my break, I have open mats on my gym.
Yeah.
Sunday, Saturday, usually I'm coaching, fighting, or refereeing, or everything, or coaching, refereeing, and fighting. That's very usual. So
I heard a story about you picking up at a fight to win, I think it was, and just like you were there and they asked, we need another fighter, and you just went and put your gi on and got in. A guy from Oklahoma told me about that. Totally separate, totally unrelated, but we were talking about where we train, and I said, I'm down in Dallas, and he's like, I met a guy down there at a fight to win that's at 555, and he just picked his gi up and they needed an extra guy and he hopped in.
Oh yeah, we always ready, like I don't care, I don't need to cut weight, I don't.
Yeah.
If we need a fighter, I'll be there. I'm always training hard every day. I don't have different days.
Yeah.
I'm always, me. I'm always training hard.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, all day, all week. I'm training. I'm lifting. So I have no offs. Yeah. I don't have off season.
Yeah.
So I'm ready whenever. If you want to fight now, if you want to fight tomorrow, I'll gi, no gi, I'm there.
That's awesome.
I'm always ready.
When your students start to line up, and obviously, or even at 555 at Highland Village. When, I don't even know how your feet are connected to your body anymore. Cause I've seen you like every time you got like, somebody landed on your Achilles or somebody gets you in a good move or whatnot. Like on the podium last time you had a big ice pack on, you fight through the injuries, obviously, but there's points in time when it's hard to fight through and you need to do something different. What do you tell your students? I mean, you've seen me in bandages and, crying on the side, like wanting sympathy. How do you manage it?
It's crazy. When we are high level athletes, we need to deal with that, right? We need to go through some injuries, like sometimes not big deals, sometimes bad ones. So a month ago I was training and I had my Achilles punching up and someone landed on my Achilles, and I have video. I cannot even watch it.
Yeah, I was there.
I don't know how I didn't break it. And then 2 weeks after, I started training slowly, but I was not feeling good, very, very off balance, very uncomfortable. And then I was like, I'm going to compete. My students are going to compete. I need to be there for them. I need to support them. I need to lead by the front, right? I gotta get a fight. So what excuse I will have to not fight if my students are going to fight? So let's go, let's do it. And then during the open class semifinals, I won my division. I won 2 mats on the open class already in the third fight. I was winning the fight, and the guy shoot my foot, the bad foot, last 30 seconds. Everything he had, he was losing, so it was last shot.
Yeah.
So he almost broke my foot again, and then he tore my ligament, the ligament of my foot. It was, of course, was weak already. It was very bad already. So, but I was fighting. So it happens, it's not his fault, but now I'm dealing with that, and I'm getting back in training. What I would try to tell people that does not live the life I live is be careful, take care of your body, You need your body, especially if you don't work with that.
Totally.
Like I would never let you move and you cross this line, like the safety line. It's not worth it, Sometimes it's not even worth it for me sometimes, but I need to do. I have no much options. I would never let my students fight without me, So sometimes I put Jiu-Jitsu in front of my body. And
Yeah.
it's not something
You're
I would
a
advise.
professional athlete. I mean,
It's not
a little
something I
different.
would advise you to do. You know, I will pay for this later. I'm already paying. You know, I have 2
Yeah.
lower back discs.
Really?
My body's broken. I have my injuries on my shoulder, on my knee, on my foot, and I will never really heal it. Every time I go to JB, the chiropractor,
Dude,
like,
seriously.
Rodrigo, dude, you gotta stop. You know,
Yeah.
he always does.
He
this.
needs
He
to
always
say. He needs to listen to
he
that
always
as
tells
well,
me that.
you
But
know?
exactly,
He's-
it's like, look, I know you're not going to stop, but that's my work. I gotta tell it that
Yeah.
you need to stop.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay,
He
JB,
says that.
can I
every
go
single
now?
time. Yeah, 100%. Every
You
time
know,
I go
but-
in there, there's 3 or 4 people from our gym
So
in there
yes, but
looking for some advice.
he knows how it works. You know, I'm not going to stop.
Yeah,
You know, but I know I'm gonna pay this later. But that's what you gotta pay to be successful. Successful. You know, you see, like, just an example. You see, like, Ron Coleman. This guy does not even walk now anymore, but he was 8 times.
yeah,
You know, 8 times champion on his sport.
Yeah.
You know, in what he loves. It was worth it. I think he will do everything again.
yeah,
If you ask him.
Yeah.
You know, he barely walks now, but if you ask him, I'm putting money on that. He will do everything again. You know, and I will do too.
I think that for a lot of people, like, injuries, I mean, look, you know, like you said, I mean, you're a professional athlete, and the examples you're talking about, I mean, are guys that do this for a living. For somebody that doesn't have that, either that passion or that opportunity, sometimes the injury is what ends things. You know, even if it's just like, hey, look, I
Yes,
just need 3
100%.
months, you just never come back. Do you want your students, I mean, if you get injured, and I talked about this in the past too, and I think we've talked about this privately, but, like, what can you do? I mean, when you're injured, how do you want your students at North South to be when they're inevitably, you're gonna get hit at some point. Something's gonna happen. It's just
No, yeah,
gonna
100%.
happen.
So-
who knows what it is?
There are some lines, right? I never want any students to quit.
Yeah,
Not because of money, because I believe on where they want to be, what they want to do. So
yeah,
I never want them to quit. But we have the safe line, right? You have that's the healthy line, and which I think it's if you're not an athlete, if you don't live this life, it's the most important thing.
yeah,
So what I would do if, like, being an athlete myself, what I do, it's, for example, I didn't have my foot for some weeks. So what I was doing, I was playing guard because I could keep
yeah.
myself
Do
standing.
what you can do.
My balance was terrible. You know, I could bend my foot, so I was playing guard. So I do what I gotta do. I do what I can do.
Yeah,
So if my students, depending on age, physical stage, you know, depends a lot of things. You know, if it was like I have some athletes, you know, already, they're younger, they're kids, but if it's them, I will tell them to rest because they're young, they'll recover fast.
yeah.
No,
Do you want them on the mat? I mean, do you want them?
I want them present.
Can
I
they
want
come
them
watch?
there, watch,
Yeah,
maybe doing technique. You gotta do what you can.
Yeah.
You know, oh, Rodrigo, I cannot roll, I cannot fight. It's okay, do technique.
yeah,
Watch the technique, do it. Do warm up if you can, do some drills. Don't just stay away, because when you come back, you're gonna feel like you said, you're gonna feel like you need to reset.
yeah.
And
Or
that's
you might
terrible.
not come back. That's even
Exactly.
worse. That's
You
even
know,
worse. It's
it-
such an ego thing too.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I got behind.
I was smashing those guys. Now
Now
they're
they're
gonna
bad.
smash
Yeah,
me. So
I
you
know.
don't want exactly.
It's so hard, man.
So I was advised to not quit, stay here, do whatever you can do, you know. And but if it's bad, sometimes it's really bad. So you
Yeah.
gotta respect your body, and that's in the first place always is safety, right? You gotta respect your healthy. I don't want nobody taking injuries, like taking serious things because of jiu-jitsu. You know, if you don't need it,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't think, like, nobody ever told me, I never had this conversation with anybody really, but I just kind of did it on my own, and it worked out really well. But, like, if I get banged up a little bit, like if my knee's tweaked or my shoulder's off a little bit, dude, I go tell Formiga, and he watches out for me on the mat, you know, like even sometimes he's like, dude, just sit out today, you know.
100%.
I mean, I want to make it 10 more years,
Yes.
more than that, I hope. And I'm not going to,
Mhm.
if I, like, try to keep up with this Navy SEAL next to me,
No.
you know, that's 25. I mean, dude, seriously,
Yeah,
you know, like
100%.
one of the guys last night, he's a white
Sometimes
belt.
you just
He
need a
killed
little
me.
break also.
Yeah,
Sometimes
man.
you just need like a week off. It's not gonna kill you.
Yeah.
You know.
It's
Comes to
also
technique.
it's valuable too. I mean, I maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe this is different for you and how you came up, and maybe it's different for other people too. But like, I get so much out of watching. I mean, I really
Exactly.
do.
Me
I
too.
learn
Me too,
so
yeah.
much. It just sucks.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, you have like now
It just
the
sucks.
things are so different, you know. It's you have like a lot of videos online.
Yeah.
A lot of BJJ fanatics now. You
Yeah.
can buy videos, you can watch, you can learn from home. It's
Yeah.
crazy now. I'm literally watching. You have a dummy here.
Oh, my little dummy. Yeah,
you
exactly.
see, like
My
we have a
grappling
lot of
dummy.
ways
Yeah.
to keep it up.
Yeah.
To not let things really fall apart, right? I have a lot of students with mat at home, with
Yeah.
dummy, with TV, and bro, go train.
Yeah,
you know,
man. There's always something
if
you
you
can do.
cannot row, try to make it work. You wanted this to make it work. So
Yeah.
up to you. No, like I said, my sweat will not make you improve. No,
Yeah.
I will help you, but you gotta do it by yourself.
Dude, that grappling dummy. So kind of on the topic of like being able to watch somebody else spar. So I started videoing myself with that little So we're looking at this little grappling dummy I've got here in this studio. And you're going to be proud of me. I've started working on Berimbolo.
Yeah, bro.
And
You
look,
see?
I mean, like, who would have thought, right? But I need a warm up. So when I watch it, when I first started noticing it was on that long step move, you know, and I've been trying to do it on another side, and Formiga's been working with me on it, and I know what he looks like, and then I know what I think I look like, and then I videoed it, and I'm like, dude, I don't look like that at all. I'm like, man, I am
video is
so
nice.
far away from,
Yes.
but like watching somebody else go,
That's how you're
man,
gonna
it is
fix your
freaking
mistakes.
helpful,
Yeah.
dude. You know what it looks like when it works, then you could start applying it to your own
When
body.
I'm teaching privates, I always tell my students to record the private.
Yeah,
Like,
I
hey, you
need
gotta
to start
record
doing
it.
that, man.
You gotta
I need to
record
start
it. You
doing
gotta
that.
watch at home. You gotta stud. It's important, you know. You gotta always do whatever you can do, and watching videos and learning at home.
Yeah.
It's important.
It's in your mind too. You think you're looking at like one thing, and then you watch
No,
yourself, and
no.
you're like, "Oh my god,
bro, it looks so goofy, right?
Oh man, that's terrible, dude. My hips never touch the ground." And you know, in my mind, I'm thinking about how some professional did it. Switching gears just a little bit here. So, and I think you're a great example of this. Your days are full.
Yeah.
I mean, your days are straight up full. You've got early mornings, you've got late nights. We've been in the gym at the same time, ironically, in the past. I mean, you've got privates all throughout the day. You've got locations all over the place. I mean, dude, we were talking before we started. I mean, Monique last night was, I think, in Argyle.
Yeah.
And then she shows up in Highland Village halfway through the class to work with some other female practitioners individually. You know, you guys are like this all day long. I mean,
All day.
how do you fit in? What's behind the scenes? I mean, how do you fit all this stuff in, and what do people not understand about it?
The hardest thing, right? Like I was talking to you like earlier. We know all the excuse. We can make all the excuse.
Yeah.
I have family. I have dog. I have son. I have house. Right. We have all work
The
all
same
day.
problems as everybody
else. We're
Yeah.
normal people, right?
Yeah.
But what people like don't see, it's the family work. Like everybody, I think everybody has those things, you know.
Yeah.
We always try to. Now Bruno is on break, right? But during school, it's complicated trying to make work class, and we gotta go home super quick, shower, and pick him up at school.
Yeah.
And, like I'm going to pick him up. Monique is making lunch, and then after shower, and we go. And we're not at the time we're not working together, so we're gonna get out 2 cars. Monique gonna teach somewhere, gonna teach somewhere else, you know. And Bruno sometimes go with Monique, Bruno sometimes go with me, and Bruno wanna train, you know.
Yeah, man.
It's complicated. So and then after we come back home, we got a dinner, put Bruno to shower again, put Bruno to brush his teeth.
Life problems,
You know how it works,
Yeah.
right? And have a dog, we gotta walk with the dog. Yes, it's insane, but we love what we do, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to go doctor because we are always broken.
Yeah.
You know, so we need to make work with JB as well, you know, to
Dude.
visit JB. So we gotta lift, right? We're athletes, so we need to find some time to lift it during the day. So now I'm lifting every day, but usually I lift like 3 times a week. But it's tough, you know. It's tough, but it's worth it. And during our break, let's say like that, during weekends, we gotta train, we gotta coach, we gotta fight, we gotta ref.
Yeah,
so
dude. Competitions. I mean, yeah.
You know, so we don't have really break. Sometimes weekends are tougher than week. You
Yeah.
know.
Think about, like, I remember the last, when Formiga was on, you know, whatever it was, a couple weeks ago, we had just come back from Waco. That was a traveling tournament. It was an all weekend event. Cool. And the day was freaking, I don't know, whatever time it started, 8.
Yeah,
at
8 a.m.
At a
to 7
foreign
p.m.
place, you know, like at somebody else's location, and then all night long, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got a
Usually
kid that he's
8,
there.
9 a.m. to 6, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Especially if we did good at the tournament, so we took place on both days. So we gotta be into the end of the tournament to take the trophies, you know. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, hey, like that's worth a late night, I guess. Yeah, that's a world class problem right there. I do think people don't really understand that sometimes, because you know, you're living your normal life, you're living your daily life, you go to work, you do your family stuff and whatever, and then you show up to jiu-jitsu. It's this happy moment in the day, and you've got like the relationship with Rodrigo, like it's my 1 hour, you know what I mean? But you don't see the full spectrum of like, hey, you got to get up at 5 a.m. to kind of
it's tough, but it's something we really love. It's a lot of people say that, like, oh, we love what I do, but I don't know if they do.
I don't either. I don't know if they do either. Yeah, I know
but
that.
But I love what I do. You know, sometimes it's exhausting. Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I'm broken. But I keep doing, you know. And most of the times I don't need to do it.
Yeah.
But I still do it. You know, like traveling to California, like, I didn't need it. You know, I mean, they could fight without me, but I'm not going to feel good. I'm not going to just put my head on my pillow and, okay, they're fighting without me. No, bro, it's gonna be so bad.
Yeah.
You know, so it's something I gotta do by myself. It's important.
I think that's part of the lesson for students as well, is that, man, like there's a mutual energy that needs to go into this. You know, it's not only the instructor and the professor's responsibility to make this good training, you know. Like, I think that we've got a really good crew, and obviously I'm biased, you know, but like, just think about the morning class. Like, we're trying to build that culture. We want to give it back to you guys too. You know, you're getting up, you're teaching us, man. We want that freaking energy to be up there, because it's hard to teach a bunch of sleepyheads, you know. I mean, you know.
But it's working out, right?
It's working, right? That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Let's talk about North-South a little bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, was this a part of the big plan? I mean, was this when you moved, when you took the big leap to come to the States, was this a part of the plan, or is this just something?
Always was the plan, the main plan, but I didn't plan like that, right? Things kind of happened quick. I had this family with one of my main students, the twins, right, Jared and Jonathan.
That's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like, you want to talk about from beginning to end.
Yeah, they now are kind of my main athletes, national champions, Pan American champions. They kind of accomplish everything a kid can accomplish on their divisions, you know.
How old are they now?
They're 14.
Jesus.
You know.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're getting good fast. And I've been teaching. I love watching
you guys together.
I've been teaching. So we have a very good relationship. They're kind of kids. They're kind of my brothers, my little brothers, you know. And we really are super cool together.
Yeah. They're part of they're a fixture in the gym too.
100%.
You know?
Yes. And I've been teaching privates for them for 3 years, 2 years and a half. You know, we're working privates twice a week for 3 years and a half. So
pretty intense.
It's a lot of time expend. And the parents, Joe and Daniel, we became a family, right? They helped me a lot. We always hanging together, barbecue, like we always together because the boys are going to compete always, and they always take me, pay my flight to go coaching them, and things start to grow and be intense, more intense, because the kids start to give results. Yeah, they're like, whoa, they're getting good. They're winning everything.
They like this.
They're winning everything. They're having fun. They love what they do.
Yeah, you can tell.
You know, and I had a bad experience last year when I got fired without any warning, any notice. You know, the guy just called me, Rodrigo, you fired. I don't need you anymore. I was like, whoa, wait, that's not cool. You know, like I was like, bro, you could just, that's fine, that's business. I understand that, but you could just let me know a little bit earlier, right? I have a kid, I have a wife, you know, I have family, bro. That's not something a nice person would do. Yeah, that's not the way to And I was desperate because now I have just half job. I cannot make it work. I can't make work with that. You know. And Daniel and Joe like, you know what, Rodrigo, let's open a gym. I was like, what? Oh, yeah, let's open a gym. Why not? why not? I want to make a business for the boys. I want to have something for them when they grow. We love you. We know your work. You're amazing what you do. Why not? We have the money. Let's do it. And in 3 months, the gym was open. I was like,
dude,
whoa.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it was so fast. Like, in a click, everything was there. Poof. I remember walking on the room, on the building, and like, I don't know. You think they're gonna look like? They're gonna be cool?
Yeah,
I don't know.
The vision.
We cannot have. No, it was like everything was like a trash.
Yeah.
And then in 3-4 months, everything was built, and it was like, whoa,
transformed.
Yeah, if you watch my gym now, it's a dream gym. I have no words to express my gratitude for them. You know, it's amazing. We're not done yet. We're not finished yet. We have some little stuff to do, right? Like little details, but it's working. We're teaching class already. The gym is open. It's amazing. It's something that I never thought about it. How it goes, how I was always thinking about dreaming with open a gym with my brother. My brother is still in Brazil. He has his own gym, so he's kind of stuck. So like, why not taking this opportunity? So
what is North South? Is it
because Brazil is south and USA is
that's
north.
Pretty basic. I mean, and in the jiu-jitsu,
the
jiu-jitsu
also
position.
My partners and myself were like north and south. Here in America, so
nice.
So I was like, whoa, why not? North-south looks good, and also it's a jiu-jitsu position. It
sounds cool. Yeah, it's perfect, man.
It's a jiu-jitsu position, so I love it.
See, you can't have the vision for the open space. Somebody has to do that, but you've got the vision for the brand, I guess. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really, really nice, and things are going good.
Yeah. So you guys are up and running, and you're up and running right now. And I've heard, like, I haven't been able to make it out yet, but I've heard just amazing things, man. I mean, everybody that's gone out there said it's a freaking really nice place. And the kids are teaching kids class?
So
are they a big part of it anyway?
They're helping me in all the classes. They're with me learning all day. They're on the way, on the process. I want them with me as much as they can. As much as they can support, because it's very stressful for them now. A lot of pressure. But at least for the kids class, for the adults class, they're by my side. They're watching, learning, and they're improving fast. They're gonna be good for them. Even for competition wise, it's good to sharpen the technique. Teaching is a good point of learning as well.
I was talking to Joe just a little bit about it. Joe's a great guy. I mean, is he going to do any teaching or anything, or is he going to? No,
Joe is it's support, right?
Yeah.
If I need him, I hopefully don't need Joe.
Yeah.
We have my wife. My wife is a black belt.
Good black belts.
I have the boys. Some of the boys are blue belt, so I want to have the boys kind of more into it. But now we have other dream, right? Let's open other gym soon next year.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding. Any preliminary
we have no location yet, but we just need to see how it goes this gym. Hopefully we're gonna grow fast, and the plan is open a new one next year.
Okay, man. It's just something to stay tuned for. We might have to have a conversation here pretty soon.
I might come back here.
That's awesome, dude. Joe leveled up, man. Dude, it's so funny because you don't when I first started training in Highland Village, he had just came back from I think knee surgery or something like that. Maybe it was his back, I don't remember, but he had been out for a while, and he's a lot lighter than I am. And man, he was fun to train with because he's just
strong,
he's strong, he moves,
he moves real
humble, but then we trained man, it was not too long after he got his brown belt, and he's doing all these new lapel things, and I'm like, dude. He leveled
Joe's
up
really
big time.
technical. Yeah,
it's awesome.
We used to do some privates. We're gonna get back in privates now next month. We're talking about it already. He wants to improve a little bit more.
Yeah,
we always make it work.
What's the future look like at North South? I mean, if you could fast forward 10 years into the future, man, is the product the same? Or are you going to focus on, is it going to be the best jiu-jitsu school out there? Do you guys expand things a little bit? I mean, what does it look like?
Or
maybe you haven't got that far.
Yes, the plan is focus on kids, teens, like 12 to 16 years old. I want to make like an army.
Yeah?
I want to make those beasts, win everything.
Those two are the good start for the Army, that's for sure.
So, and I think also we want to focus on girls. I think it's something different.
A women-specific program.
A women's class. We're gonna start January with some extra classes, morning classes, female classes. Monique gonna start teaching full time.
Yeah.
And we want to grow the kids program and the girls, which two hard things to make it work.
Yeah.
So we want to be different.
Especially women, man. That's tough.
Yeah. So we want to be different. We want to make things different. And let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it's hard to get, I think people sometimes forget about that, man. It could be an intimidating place if you're a woman practitioner. You might not care, but you don't know what other people think or whatnot. So to have a program that's focused on that is valuable.
100%. I think it's important for the girls to feel comfortable. It's so hard for the girls to deal with that. Most of the girls don't feel comfortable rolling with their mans.
Yeah.
And a lot of girls are training because they don't want to be close to other men, So we try always to understand those situations and make everybody comfortable. I think having some girls classes, that's the good point to make the girls feel more comfortable, feel more relaxed. Because I understand that.
I do too, man.
Yeah,
it's hard enough for guys.
Yes, you know. With all these problems around the girl, like bullying, this sexual problems, those aggressions, sexual aggression, the life is tough. It's pretty violent sometimes. So you're gonna get them ready, right?
Yeah. I don't think if you have a women's program, even if they get the first couple classes, sometimes, we've been training jiu-jitsu for a long time, and so if somebody grabs you, you don't think much about it, it's not a shock.
Yeah.
But if nobody has ever come to you and wrapped their arms around you or something like that, or if you've never fallen down, it's kind of like when you take somebody that's brand new to jiu-jitsu, like in the kids class even, and nobody's ever pushed them before or something, and they almost want to cry, they're like, oh my God, that's violent,
Yes.
But to just be used to that and get a little bit of accustomed to it, then that alone could be a lifesaver for
100%,
somebody.
100%. Because the fact they're gonna work a lot those techniques to protect themselves, I think when they really need it, they will do without even thinking. Wait, I just saved myself.
Yeah.
And that's the point. I don't want to any water. I don't want any superhero.
Yeah.
I just want to give them some basic skills, some survival skills, to being able to deal with that if they need to. Hopefully they don't need it.
Yeah.
That's the point. Hopefully they never need it, but it's better knowing what to do, having the skills, the survival skills, and don't need it, than you don't have it because you don't want to need it.
Yeah,
but,
it's a tough one.
And then you need it, and what you gotta do. So
yeah, when you need it, it'll be too late.
So better you know something and don't need it than need it and being lost.
Well, who knows, man? Maybe, we're talking about women's self-defense, but you could easily end up in the competition class too. You could get addicted to this, and it ends up being
we never
something.
know. We never know the future, hopefully.
You promoted 2 to black belt on the podium.
I have
two
black
high-level
belts
female
now.
competitors.
Yes. 3 world champions.
Yeah, that's
3
crazy,
black
dude.
belt world
Statistically
champions.
Unusual, I think, is the terminology. So what's next for you, man? You're out there actively competing. We see you working out constantly.
Next year, you guys are going to see Rodrigo competing a little bit less, focus more local tournaments to make the gym grow, to expand the brand.
It's a tough balance.
Yes, and you guys are going to see Rodrigo more active as a coach, even more, full-time coaching. And if I have to make a decision, I will always option the coaching decision, at least for the next year,
Yeah,
and
it's tough to be in 2 places at one time, man.
Yes, and I want to make it work, so I will give my 100% for my students next year, and compete a little bit less, but not out of the competitions because you know how it works.
Yeah,
I cannot quit.
Yeah. It's tough.
So I will compete more locals and be 100% focused on coaching my students.
That's awesome, man. I can't wait to see
Making
it.
some champions.
I love it, man. I don't doubt it one single bit. We talked about this before. I feel like I have a white belt in social media. So how do people get in touch with you? How do people find you? What other closing thoughts do you have for everybody?
Yeah, so it's it's hard. Social media is hard, right? It's a good weapon, but it's hard to really know what
I
to
need
do.
a private.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I'm not that guy.
Dude,
my
I'm
wife is
telling you.
better. My wife,
Is she?
like I said, she was journalist back.
I got my
in-
kids, man,
So
telling me how to do it.
yes,
They're laughing
so
at me. They're
Monique
like,
is
you're an
better
idiot.
than me. She edit videos, she's good with that.
Yeah.
But I think the most important of what I would try to do on my social media, my Instagram, like Facebook, I try to make posts that will make something different for you. Will touch you some way. Like
Yeah.
I used to post like self-defense videos, warm-up videos, drill videos, something that's gonna help you somehow.
Yeah.
Even like that was crazy. This week I saw 3 different gyms doing the same warm-up I was doing. I posted. I posted a video of my son Bruno doing
I
some.
saw that.
Did
Yeah,
you see
dude,
it?
that went like viral, man.
So
It was
yes,
like Gracie
because
Mag
Grace
picked it
Mag
up.
posted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
so
That was awesome.
My son was doing those drills warm up. I do every Thursday at my gym.
That's so cool.
The drills warm up. No, and I did a game that day, the tic-tac-toe, the game to warm up. Like it's with beanbags. And this week I saw 3 gyms doing the
No
same
kidding?
warm up.
Dude,
And
that's
I was
cool,
like,
man.
Yeah, that's
It gets it
amazing.
out there.
No, it's amazing. That's what I wanted.
Some other kid is
I helped them
positively
somehow.
impacted. Yeah.
Exactly, help them somehow. Like, whoa, that's cool.
It's amazing.
And I need to make more posts. Like some people even text me, like, Rodrigo, or to my wife, you guys gotta post more about that. We love it, this warm ups. We love these games. That's the feedback I want. That's everything I do. It's for this, not to be successful, not to be like famous. No, it's to help people.
Yeah.
And the fact this week I saw 3 different gyms doing the same things I do. Like, whoa,
That's so cool.
it's
dude.
working.
Dude, watching Bruno go through that obstacle course. I mean, you had the ladder of doom, I guess is what you call it. And then we had, the little ladders to hop over and stuff like that. Was freaking cool, man. He looks like he has fun when he's out there doing it. I love seeing your son out there, man. He's like a natural on the mats, too.
It's crazy.
See him bow
doing
in, all
amazing.
respectful and stuff.
And I try not I think the secret's not putting pressure on him. I try not putting pressure on
he's a
him
kid.
at all.
He's a little kid too.
Sometimes he doesn't want to roll. Like, okay, cool. Now I need him because I just opened a gym.
Yeah.
So I kind of need him for the little kid. So it's good having someone like who I trust more, who I can talk with different way, that can help me. So I kind of not using him, but having him with me all day now, every day. He's learning and helping me a lot. But hopefully soon, I don't need him as much as I need now. I will let him have this break, It's like let him chill, let him rest. I'm not the kind of person, I don't want him like feeling it's not mandatory for him to train. Never. That's not the point.
You're at Lopes Tattoo. Is that your Instagram?
It's Lopes Tattoo.
Lopes Tattoo. Yeah. So that's where you can find Rodrigo. And then of course we've got Double Five Highland Village where he's at a lot, but now you're probably going to see him a lot more at North South in Richardson, Texas, which is just north of Dallas. Good for visitors to come out.
Bro, come on, please. Everybody's welcome. That would be amazing.
I still need to make it out there. I need to do it before.
Richardson.
Yeah, of course, man. Well, so Richardson, Texas at Lopes Tattoo. Any final thoughts before we go and hit the mats of justice over in a noon class?
Again, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. It's always amazing.
Thank you, man. It's a huge favor for me. Believe me. Trust me.
Share some love, share some knowledge, trying to help people make some difference, right? That's the point. I want to make some difference. And again, I would like to having people being patient, trusting your professor or what they say, what they do. They know what they're doing. They might know what they're doing, hopefully they do. And you gotta trust them. You gotta be patient and consistency. Do your work.
I love it.
Don't wait for someone to do their work if you're not doing yours.
Yeah.
So make your very best every single day and make a difference. That's what I'm doing here.
I love it, man. I think you said it best. And then going back to the original script here is that this is a journey. And you heard the advice from Rodrigo, which is be patient. And you've got to show up. Nobody can put the work in for you. And if you feel like this is kind of coming to an end, then hang in there for one more day and remember that advice that persistence pays off. Consistency is key, and you just got to be patient. And just from me to you, Rodrigo, man, you have really made a big impact, and I mean it, brother.
Thank
You've
you.
we've got a big age gap between the two of you, but I look up to you a lot, especially
Thank
the
you,
way that
brother.
you show up. You set a good example. You always keep the bar high, and you found the trick to kind of keep me pushing. And I am truly thankful for the impact you've had on my life and on my jiu-jitsu for sure, man. So thank you as always.
Thank you, my brother. It's a pleasure. That's what I want to do forever.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'm looking forward to it. And to everybody else that's out there, we are out.